So it should hopefully be live now, and then obviously it'll just take a little minute just to connect to the different platforms.
Okay, I think we're live. Good afternoon and welcome to anybody tuning in for us today. Welcome to the first joint webinar between Trotec Laser and Hybrid Services. Just a little bit of housekeeping to start with. You'll see on the right hand side of the screen, you can ask or you can make comments, ask questions, even just give us a hello, tell us where you're from, where you're watching from. But any questions that you have, please pop them in the comments section and we'll answer them as we go, or at the end where we're having a proper Q&A session. So joining me today, we've got an all-star panel of guests. If you guys would like to do a quick introduction, start with my colleague Alex, and then we'll move on from there.
My name is Alex and I am the application engineer for Trotec in the UK.
Richard?
I'm Richard from Hybrid Services. I'm the showroom manager for Hybrid.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I am the application specialist at Hybrid Services.
And my name is Brian Jato. I'm UK Sales Director for Trotec Laser. So we've come together today to just give you an overview of the difference, or the difference in the technologies, but also how we can put them together. Now, chances are you know at least one of the businesses, or we wouldn't have found you, you wouldn't have been registered. But we'll just do a quick introduction to the two businesses for those who don't know who we are and what we're all about. So I'll start with Trotec. So Trotec Laser, biggest manufacturer of plotter style laser systems in the world, formed in 1997 as part of the Trodat group, so formed as the technology arm of the Trodat group. We've grown and grown and now have a presence in 90 countries through subsidiaries and dealers. We've got over 700 employees worldwide. The UK business is 45 strong, mixture of sales, marketing, and tech support. We have 6 showrooms in the UK. Our head office up in Tyne Wear, but also Yate near Bristol, Guildford in the southeast, Loughborough in the Midlands, Stirling in Scotland, and Dublin. So we're all over the place to support our customers and show our wares off. Alongside that, we have a large consumables department as well that can supply very compatible products to go with the laser machines. So just a very brief overview on who we are. Richard, if you'd like to give us a quick overview on Hybrid, and then we'll get started.
Okay. Hybrid is the UK and Ireland exclusive distributor for all Mimaki products. Again, it was formed in 1996, so I know 1 year before Trotec. So yeah, nearly 25 years, a quarter of a century. We're based in Crewe, Cheshire, so we're centrally located for the UK. We have around about 45 employees, so similar to Trotec. 15 full-time service engineer personnel who sort of look after our servicing needs, both direct to the end customers and supported with our dealer network. So we work together with a partnership of authorised Mimaki agents, partners, resellers, and that covers the whole of the UK and Ireland. We have a large warehouse facility here, which we keep the stock of the product, and a large showroom facility where we organise demonstrations.
Brilliant. Thanks for that, Richard. So why are we here today? Why are we doing this? Alex, do you want to make a start?
Hopefully we can see what we can do. So today, obviously, we're talking to you about the combination of UV printing alongside laser technology. And today we're going to be covering 3 different market segments. So we're going to be looking at point of sale, signage, and also corporate. But what we hope you'll get out today is just to see just how easy it is to work with both of these technologies together. And of course, printing on all the different media and then obviously processing with the laser, you can really apply that to really any market segment. So this is just really to give you a little bit of a taster about some of the things that we can create with both of these technologies. So first of all, I'm going to start by giving you a little bit of information. So for anyone who doesn't currently have a laser and is more coming from the printing side, what a laser is it's a type of light that can cut and engrave different materials. So these tend to be mainly plastics and wood. And what that allows us to do is it allows us to create contrast and also cut out different shapes for manufacturing. So here we've got an example of one of our speedy machines. It's actually a very similar machine to what we used with this webinar. And what you also might have heard is different types of laser, so CO2 laser, fiber or YAG, and what that refers to is the type of material that's been used to create the laser beam itself. So if you've heard of a CO2 laser, that's because they're using a gas mixture that's mainly made up of CO2, but predominantly it's a non-contact process that can cut and engrave material. So now I'll pass over to, I think, Richard, who will tell us a little bit about UV printing.
Okay, so the UV inkjet printing, as far as Mimaki is concerned, this is achieved through the use of piezo inkjet head. This is a surface printing technology. We call it drop on demand. It's cured specifically through LED light, so it's the specific wavelength of the diodes. The ink is instantly cure. So the net benefit of using the LED is low power, low heat. So there's minimal distortion. It's immediate. There's no warm up time or dwell time or cool down time. So, and that's what Mimaki and Hybrid embrace, the printing of UV technology using LED.
Okay, so now we'll head across and we'll pass over to Brian, who will just talk a little bit about the combination of these technologies.
Yeah, we made contact with Hybrid. Well, we know the companies have known each other for some time, but what we're seeing out in the marketplace is people combining the technologies frequently because they work so well together. Print technology has evolved hugely over the years, and you can now successfully put print onto 1,000,001 different substrates that wouldn't have been possible maybe 10, 15 years ago. However, the traditional methods of cutting those that printed media is not necessarily still relevant for some of the new substrates. So what we wanted to do today was to bring the two together, show you some of the substrates that you may not be able to use with a knife blade, for instance, and just show how easy it is to do this because the two work hand in hand so nicely. So we've got a few videos to show and we'll talk you through the process. Okay.
So what we're going to do is give an overview of each of these applications from using just either laser or just UV, and then we're going to show you the combination. So in terms of point and sale and current laser processing, generally we're looking quite often at more of the construction side. So with the laser, we're very easily able to cut a range of acrylics and woods. And so you can see in these examples here, we have some engraved and cut MDF, and that can obviously be used to build displays. And again, because of the flame polished edge and a nice finish direct from the laser, again, it's very often used for acrylic fabrication. And also you can work on a smaller scale, so some accessories. So again, these are all acrylic fabricated boxes, and obviously some lettering that's all been cut out here as well. So generally it's more on the cutting out and the construction side. And now we'll pass across for the LED UV side.
Yeah, so from our side with the LED UV printing, obviously with our UJF Mimaki range, we're able to print on a variety of different substrates, from woods, acrylics, corrugated card, foam board, metals, as you can see in the picture, able to drop on demand onto foam cases, and as well as acrylic blocks. These are all achieved at high accuracy using jigs that we can take from the laser, acrylic that's been cut from the laser and brought then over onto the flatbed, relevant substrates are then placed onto the bed and printed on. Obviously, with your acrylic blocks, with the big clear, you need a white behind that. So our UGFs offer white ink in the machines, and with this, they have with the way the heads are lined up, they're staggered, so you can print white and colour at the same time. And also, if needs be, you can also, we have the option of clear that you can do in either matte or gloss, which is perfect for putting on logos, spot logos. Also, as well in the machine, we've also got a primer that's available when printing onto certain substrates such as glass or metal. A primer might need to be applied just for that, just to get that adhesion with UV ink.
Okay. So what we're now going to show you is a combination of the technology. So we're going to be using the laser to obviously cut out and for the fabrication side, and of course we'll be using the UV printer for obviously the graphics and artwork side. So things to look out for this is we are not only just cutting the actual display stand itself in this example, but we also cut out the foam insert, and then we also actually create a jig and then finally personalize the product with the UV printer. So there's actually quite a lot going on in this example. So we're going to play the video in a second. I just want to say it does play quite loud. Obviously, always some technical gremlins, so you may want to reduce your audio in a second, and I'll just click play on the video. Okay, so hopefully you saw that and it all be deafened. And here we have the finished product, which is obviously a combination of the so the thing that I really liked about this is we worked very quickly during our time to very easy, and a lot of that was made possible by having obviously detailed artwork that had been printed registration up. So you'll see that in a second. But essentially what we do is we have the printed media, and then on the laser we have a camera that picks up the registration points and then allows it to align the cut paths. So in terms of what we processed in this example, this was some clear 3mm acrylic, which we laser cut to create the main display stand itself. We then cut some foam with the laser again to hold the product, and then also hopefully throughout that you also saw we created a jig as well to help align the actual printed phone cases which were printed on. So I'll just pass over to Ash, who will just give a bit of information about the printing side.
Yeah, so obviously for the Trotec users on like too aware of the printing side, obviously as Alex said, we printed on the 3mm acrylic, and the release line is taken off It's then placed onto the origin of the bed. It's a vacuum formed bed as well, which sucks the media down and keeps it into place when printing. Again, with this process, we printed colour with a white on top, and then after that to follow, we also printed the black register marks on top of the white, so the laser will then be able to pick it up. Also, as you see with the jig that was cut on the laser, this is we were able to do this from the blueprints of the UGF 7151 bed. And as you can see, we've got little tiny holes that are on the bed that can screw into the bed to keep that secure and into place. And then from there, it's all about measuring the size of your media. So in this case, the phone cases, and then putting that template into Illustrator, and then just dropping your artwork onto that specific area for print. These phone cases, I think they were all black phone cases there. So a white layer was placed on first, obviously with the colour at the same time, and then can't quite see on the phone case, but there is a spot gloss as well. And it's worth noting with this machine, you can add all sorts of different effects. You can add embosses as well onto these prints, and then obviously as soon as the phone cases are printed, you can take them straight off. They're cured straight away, and they're ready to go, ready to be packaged and sent off to your customer.
Yep. So hopefully that's given you the first taste of obviously the combination of the printer cut. And of course, if you do have any questions, do ask throughout the and of course at the end. So that was the first segment that we have covered, and now we'll be moving on to the next sector, which is going to be looking at signage. So from the laser side, we've got some good examples here. So these are all common applications in the signage market. So on the left hand side, we have some of our Trodat laminate. So this is a 2-ply material, and essentially we engrave the top surface to reveal the corresponding the contrasting color underneath. We then have acrylic lettering, which tends to be something that's very popular, so just cutting out thick lettering, but of course you can obviously add colour to that, especially with things like lighting. And of course we can then combine the different materials to create more of a 3D effect and some more detailed signage. So now we'll pass over to the hybrid team, who can talk a little bit about UV in the signage side.
Yeah, so from our side, we've got with our UGF with the flatbeds, we've got 3 sizes available. We've got A3, A2, and then one of the larger ones, which is just a bit smaller than A1, which from this allows us to print on all sorts of sizes of acrylics, glasses, woods, metals. Again, and then in this case, we can do short runs for customers. It's a drop on demand kind of way. Way to go, and again, with your woods and your metals, you've got your whites to make your graphics stand out more. And you can also play on with opacity and transparencies for I don't know, maybe acrylics that are going into light boxes. And it's also worth noting that we can print braille on these UGF flatbeds, so a specific height for obviously for someone that's visually impaired. Also, if there's differences in your media of height, Mimaki offers a range of profiles called long drop 1 and long drop 2 that go up to a height difference of 4.5 mil. If you were struggling with printing onto uneven media.
So in this example, again, we're going to combine the combination of technology, and we'll discuss this a bit more after the next video, after the next application. But in this one, I particularly liked it because we also then started to look at combining different materials. So in this example, you'll see us working with not just plastics and acrylics, which tend to be quite a common material to work with on the laser side, but also with wood as well. So again, a warning for any of those who have the volume turned up. Obviously, this may be a bit louder when we play the video. So here's the next signage application of combining UV print with laser technology. Okay, so there was our next example, and as you can see with this example we used a combination, and the thing I really liked about this example of the combination of the technologies was we took something that was fairly cheap product, so just a standard sheet of MDF, and by adding that print and also then the contours cut, we created something that was, you know, a very sellable end user product. And actually a question I have myself for the hybrid team is, I didn't, as I was still quite new to UV printing technology, we were able to just directly print onto the wood very easy. So is there any special preparation you need to do in terms of the materials like wood when you're UV printing?
When printing with woods, most woods, it needs to have quite a smooth surface, or else sometimes woods can be quite absorbent of the inks, and it'll bleed into the wood. And with this sort of stuff, this MDF is nice, had a nice smooth surface, so we were able to just print white and then colour with a spot gloss again on certain parts. Some woods you might have to use a primer underneath. It's all trial and error, and with a certain range of materials. So it's in this case it was pretty simple, just a piece of MDF, printing onto it and cut it out, which from our side is something that we haven't been able to do before at all. Like this is a finished piece that's ready to go out. And the good thing that we found with this is that with the acrylic is that there was no bleed to put on this print, and the high accuracy and detail of the cutting was exceptional. I mean, the cut path didn't wander off at all, and obviously you've got, as you said, the flame, the polished finish that comes from the laser, which makes it look even more like a finished piece.
Well, in our showroom, it just has a really combination of two very accurate machines, and what we end up is a very professionally finished product, which we can demonstrate all the way through. So in a showroom environment is perfect, because typically a customer with a reseller will come here, and we've always potentially not been able to finish some of the product off, whereas with the lasing, the accuracy of the laser, how we can finish it, we can complete the whole circle. So it's a really nice unison of two very high-end products.
We've had a question in from Corporate Graphics, which I think we've just answered, but just to confirm, the question was that MDF? And yes, the base piece was MDF, 3 mil, I think, Ash, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 mil.
3 mil MDF.
Yeah.
With a 6 mil acrylic on top.
I think it was 8 mil. We went all out.
8
mil acrylic on top. So that's what's come together to make that particular sample.
We actually went the next day to B&Q next door to buy some more, but they'd run out.
But what it's brought is a stunning product by just combining those two technologies. Either of them individually wouldn't have produced such a valuable product to the end user.
No, it's also worth noting as well, like this process was done really quick. Like this was done in minutes. Like it's not taking hours. You haven't got to send it off to be cut, then it's brought back to you. Then you've got to put it together. It was all done in one place, literally side by side in a small room, which again just adds to the benefits of these two machines being put together. Okay,
another comment in from Corporate Graphics. Thank you, Corporate Graphics. I thought MDF was problematic to cut with a laser. What you'll find with MDF is that there's good and bad product. If you buy the cheapest MDF you can possibly find, then what you'll find is you'll get a lot of carbonization to the edge. So it makes it very difficult to work with, and you probably need to sand it down. But with a decent quality MDF, it comes off the laser. Yes, you've got a darkened edge, but the product is handleable. You don't get carbon all over the place, and it's very, very straightforward to laser cut.
Yeah. So in general, I think it's normally Medite MDF tends to be the better.
Yeah, Medite's a good product, good solid product. And laser cutting wise, depending on the power of the laser, we frequently cut up to sort of 18 mil. It's a good product.
So we'll move now on to the final area, and that is we're going to look at some corporate wear. So in terms of, again, go back to the laser side, we're showing something a little bit different here as well. So what we're doing is we're having a powder coated or a finished metal, and then we're using the laser to change the color. So whether it's an anodized aluminium and we're creating a white contrast, or a very popular product as seen with our our growing range now of bottles that we supply, is that we can take off and go down to the stainless coating underneath and get a lot of nice contrast. Now, of course, there are lots of different things you can do, but these are just two nice examples of a laser application with corporate wear. And I'll pass over to the hybrid team to talk a little about some of the different products that they've worked with.
Okay, so what we can see here is a wine bottle on the right. So we have a facility on the UJFs called a rotary kebab printing system, and which means we can put cylindrical objects and print around the surface. So this is a very useful addition to the UJF printing series for businesses that want to expand further the capability of the UV printing system. So if it's onto a can, or in this case a wine bottle, or anything that's cylindrical and accurately cylindrical, if you want a complete wrap. As far as the pens in the central, that's a very typical process that people for commercial or point of sale corporates making individual pens with different names on, or business names, and that would be using a jig for the accuracy and, again, placement product to place the product into an accurate position. And then the far left one is a typical it's actually a bottle opener, but they come in many shapes and sizes. So typically anything that will sit under the print head that is relatively flat, the machine will print onto. So if it is for the use of point of sale or promotional products, there's many things that can be applied under the machine.
Yep. So again, we're now going to see a combination, and in this example, what we're going to be looking at is we'll be working with two different materials again. So this time we're going to be working with a card and also with a little plastic insert and some acrylics. So again, if you may need to turn down the volume slightly, and we'll be playing the next video in a second. So there we have our final combination of the technologies in this. And of course, the nice thing about this was, again, we've covered yet another material. I know obviously probably things like paper and card are probably some more standard materials to be able to print onto. But of course, with the laser in this example, not only were we able to obviously cut the material, but we also added some score lines as well to allow it to be folded. We then also cut out the clear film for the lid, and finally, obviously, we have the actual branded components or parts that then obviously go into the cupcake itself. And one of the things that, again, something that I learned by working with the team at Hybrid with the Mimaki printer was the fact that you can actually create so many different finishes. So it's probably a little bit hard to see in this image, but there was actually almost like a 3D effect and also some gloss. So I was just wondering if maybe you could elaborate at Hybrid about some of the different finishes that you can actually create with the printers.
Yeah. So obviously here we have printing on card on the flatbeds, and also it's worth noting that obviously with card the machine works as on a laser system, and when you put a specific height in. So for this card was put in. Sometimes obviously it has got a vacuum bed. The suction is only so strong. So sometimes the edges you'll have to put down with some tape, just to keep that flat, or else the laser will pick it up and drop the bed. And sometimes your print won't come out as clear as it should do. But yeah, we're going back to the effects. I don't know if you saw, like with the Trotec and the Mimaki logo and Hybrid logo, they had a clear gloss, spot gloss put over the top of them. Underneath this as well was an emboss layer, which is two times emboss. You can change this, I think, up to 9 layers of emboss to get something to really stand out. Obviously, like when you put your fingers over it. And also it's worth noting that you can also print a clear matte as well, not just a gloss on the flatbed.
And also, I noticed that obviously when I was looking at some of the other examples, you also had some kind of chrome and metallic effects. Are those all things that are easily achievable with the printers?
Yeah, I mean, if you're printing onto say a metallic card, a silver card, gold card, you can create all sorts of nice finishes. With a metallic card, if you put certain colours in, certain yellows and tinges of gold, when you go over them with a spot gloss, you can create kind of a gold effect with the machine, which works really well. Obviously, no white underneath, just pure colour, and then a clear gloss over the top, which makes certain products pop really well. With the machine, there's so many ways you can go with on the UJF machines. It really is. It's exciting machines.
All right. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed seeing those 3 different applications and examples. And of course, it's really just a start of the kind of products and things that can be made with the machine. So we're now going to be going into our question and answer section. So if you do have any questions, please start to leave some questions in the chat. We've already had some questions submitted, so I'll start to bring those up, and then we'll go across to the questions in the chat as well. So the first question we have is, can we print on clear material and still use the camera system?
Shall I take that?
Sorry,
not Bri. He's now confident.
Okay, I'll take that one. Yes, you can. I don't know whether it was spotted during the videos, but the camera system is looking for a black dot, and that's what happens when the print goes down. The print goes down with some additional black dots, and that's our registration point. Now, if you're just using black on clear, then it'll be very difficult for the camera system to find it. So what Ash has done for the samples that we've made is he's printed a white around the black, and therefore the camera system picks it up very easily. So yes, you can, but you need to print a white around it as well.
Yeah. And the next question we have is, what are the benefits over other technology? Quite a wide question, but I guess we can answer it in our teams on the laser side and obviously on the Mimaki side. So from the laser side, in terms of what's good about a laser, is it's a non-contact machine. So when you think of other technologies such as CNC equipment, you have the actual component or drill bit touching the material. And essentially what that means is, on the laser side, we can create some very intricate artworks. We have a dot size or a spot size of around 0.3 of a millimeter. And also by using heat, we have other advantages, such as the fact we can get a flame polished edge straight from the machine, so you're not having to have any post-processing. And hopefully you saw that in the video as well, you know, how we literally took the sheet of material from the Mimaki printer, put it into the laser. There's no need to clamp it down or anything else like that. Hit go, machine finds the registration marks and it cuts out the parts. So over to hybrid, what are some of the benefits of, or Brian, have you got something else you want to add on?
I was just going to add from the laser side. Of course, when you're combining the two technologies, what we don't generate is loads of swarf. So when you're cutting acrylic mechanically, you're going to get bits of acrylic flying all over the place. And I'd imagine if that gets anywhere near your print head, you're going to do some damage. So we're vaporizing and sucking away the fumes that we've generated, rather than creating lots of heavy dust.
And from the inkjet side, other technology, I mean, it's such a broad statement, I guess, but if we look at UV versus solvent or water-based, well, the net effect is the other ink technologies wouldn't adhere to rigid substrates like acrylic. So putting that one to one side, if we look at the alternative technology for UV inkjet printing, there is tungsten, which is the traditional curing process, versus LED. That's something Mimaki, which I originally discussed, is wholly embraced the net benefits of LED printing for UV printing. And that is the immediate effect how it cures, the low energy that it uses. We have other additional capabilities with the way the inks, we can formulate them now for flexibility. Again, inks are tailored for the particular type of substrates that you're going to print onto. So it's quite a broad statement that over other technologies.
Always a challenge.
Yeah.
If whoever sent that question in wants to narrow it down a bit more, if they're watching, then we'll endeavour to answer it perhaps more relevantly for you.
Yeah. So again, maybe a question that could cover both of us. So from the laser side, so first of all, the question is, how do I find the right parameters for materials? So with our laser systems, we'll actually supply you a base catalog or a base selection of settings. And what we'll do is during the training, we'll show you how to add and create your own settings. So generally speaking, when you say you have a setting for a 3mm acrylic, then finding a setting for a 6mm acrylic is very easy, because you simply are just generally, as a rule of thumb, would just be halving your cut speed. So that's all part of the training, but as a general rule, we'll provide you with some initial settings, and of course you can contact our support team as well. And on the UV side, you have different parameter settings for different materials?
Not different parameter settings, but we do have a wide range of different profiles available for different materials, but different resolutions. 1200 dpi being the highest. There's really any specific parameters for certain materials. Obviously, with your inks, you've got your whites, your white clears, and your primer, and you can adjust these levels in the RIP accordingly to. So on certain materials, maybe metals and glass, you might need more. You might need more primer on certain like substrates. So no, there's no real there's no specific parameters for set materials. It's all just trial and error, really.
That's cool. I think we might have lost Alex. Either that or he's gone to sleep.
Is he?
we might have lost him, and he is of course running the show, which is going to make it a little bit more difficult. But we can cover some of the questions that have come up in the chat. So some time ago, we had the question about masonite from Corporate Graphics. I'll be completely honest, I googled it during the next video just to find out exactly what it was made of, but it sounds like it's a compressed wood product, so I would say not a problem for laser cutting. If there's anything that you want tested, we can put you in touch with your nearest office, nearest Trotec office, and we'll test cut anything you like. The next question sounded like definitely one for you hybrid chaps. How about printing 12-point cover on Xerox toner-based engine with gold sleeking foil and laminated surface? I don't even understand the question, so that's definitely over to you guys.
Is this a foil? It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Sort of foil. I mean, we can print onto foils, but again, the vacuum bed would draw it flat. Again, like Ash mentioned, everything that we effectively prepare to go under the inkjet head, if we haven't already printed the same product before, it's an element of trial and error. And in most cases, the ink will adhere. There are exceptions, but as long as it's presented flat under the inkjet head and we're using the appropriate ink, it would probably print onto it. Now, but I don't. We'd have to see the product. We'd have to, fully evaluate it.
Okay, so we've got CMS Ident has asked, can we get metallic effect with Mimaki UJF 6042?
Yes, it depends. It depends again on the media. The media obviously needs to be a metallic or have some kind, like obviously has to have a shine to it. You can't create it on a white piece of dye bond. It's got to be a metallic piece of media to create that. But with if your media is like silver, gold, bronze, then yeah, you can create metallic effects, no problem.
Okay, and again, it's CMS Ident. How can we do digital foiling using Mimaki? And they've also put will the primer choke the print head?
Yeah, so I think one of our resellers has done a digital foiling. They've got a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation on digital foiling, Rich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It can be done using primer, and we've had customers in where I printed samples for them using the primer. We've then sent it off. It's been delivered.
There is a process, and
yeah,
and it's putting down the correct amount of primer. Again, like a lot of things, it's a trial and error exercise. But there is a if you're interested in the process of foiling, then by all means contact Hybrid. We've got a document which can guide you through, and it's more of a guideline, some recommendations. But in terms of what foil you're using, again, in our experiences, we've seen good foils and bad foils, some that work well, some that don't, and we're not in control of that. And that's the trial and error element.
Okay, and the last question that we have on the list is, or statement, I think. Hey, Trotec, I'm from India. We have a Mimaki machine, but I made a mistake by not going for Trotec and I bought a Universal. Well, what can I say? Don't do it again. We will still help. We will help anybody, whatever laser you've got. If you've got any problems or anything that we can help with application wise, then we'd love to speak to you regardless. We did have some other questions, but Alex had them lined up, and I don't remember what they were. And Alex's internet, unfortunately, has died where he is, so we've lost him. So probably, unless there's any more questions in the chat, we will close this up.
Okay.
Thank you very much to you, hybrid fellas. Please, if you're still watching, follow us, sign up to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, for all the latest that's coming out of Trotec Laser and hybrid services and Mimaki, and we hope to see you again soon. Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.